Do it.
Hey, you want to know why most
What's up?
people are broke? You want to know why most people are broke? You want to know why? You want to know why I think most people are broke?
I think I have an idea, but let's see your opinion.
So I saw this TikTok the other day, right? Saw this TikTok
Uh,
the other day. There was this guy. He was on there, and he was talking about. You want to know why I don't like the military? It's because some of those people they don't understand that they they took the easy way out. They didn't get out the trenches like I did. They didn't be out here in the struggle. They went and joined the military, get a paycheck every 1st and 15th. And I was like, that's crazy. Why you want to struggle if you have a way out? I'm not saying that it's the easiest, but it's the way out. But to me, the reason why, to get to the point to what I was about to say, is a lot of these people have the craziest mentality of trying to always keep up with other people doing and always pocket watching versus trying to build and tap into their talents. If I gave you the ability to make a check every 1st and the 15th, and the only thing you had to do up is show up, do what you're told, and eventually, maybe once a year, you get a pay increment. On top of that, you get a clothing allowance, and you have
Health
decent health
insurance.
care. Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you take it? Or would you rather struggle, be homeless, or go do something that you don't want to do to get to where you want to be?
So here's the
I'm
thing.
just
I
saying.
agree with you. No, I agree with you. Like, man, I'm so glad. So this whole keeping up with the Joneses, right? And pocket watching, all this other stuff. People think, oh, you took the easy out because you joined the military. It's also not easy to join. There's still a process that you have to go through to get into the military. Statistically proven, there's at least roughly 10,000 Americans a day that go to a recruiting office on all branches to try and get it. And there's probably only, out of that 10,000, realistically, there's probably maybe 150 that can actually join the military. There's too many people that have too many freaking issues, medical issues, and they can't join. Right. So it's not easy to get in. Even for me, I remember when I joined, I'd already had tattoos and I had to get a tattoo waiver and all this other stuff. And I was still had weed in my system, and like I barely passed my fucking piss test to join. Like all this stuff, like it's
I
not
was still
easy.
smoking as I walked in the office.
Bro, I tell you dead up. So I remember my recruiter calling me. He knew he was from Arizona too. Petty officer, I never forget the dude. I think he was an E1 at the time. But if I ever seen him again, I'd shake his hand. I'd be like, I thank you for being kind of, he was hard nosed on me. But anyways, long story short, he calls me 3 days before I freaking supposed to get on the bus and fly out to Chicago, right? And at the time, I had no car. I was basically living on the streets. I had a little $500 apartment I was like thugging out of, right?
Yeah.
So I had to call my mom to come swoop me up to take me to the recruiting office. Bro, when I tell you, let me tell you how gangster this man was. He didn't even say anything to me. He just goes from behind. He had his hand behind his back. He's, well, what's up, man? Pulls out the bottle, bro. I just shook, bro. I was like, oh. He's just, hey, just go to the back. I just need to know. So that way I need to make sure we're safe. You got to make it. And I was like, all right. He tested
like
that.
He was on probation. Like he was on probation or something.
He tested that shit right in front of my mama. And my mom went, oh, are you still freaking smoking? I can't believe it. I was like, fuck. He's like, look, I ain't going to tell you what to do, but I can give you some ideas that it's going to be brutal, but it'll help you change your life so you can get out of here. And let's just say I had to drink a gallon with a gallon of water elixir and ride my bike in the Arizona heat in a full sauna suit. But because of what he told me, I was able to join the freaking Navy and make a career out of it. So it's so easy. It's not that easy, especially when you're a young kid and you was already out your house living life. Everybody thinks smoking weed is everything, but like realistically, man, like where I'm at in life, do I still want to enjoy a little bit of medicinal or whatever when I retire? Yeah, but not like how it was, because I understand that it's also not good for you 24/7, right? But the whole mentality of all this, right, is keeping up with the Joneses, bro. It's not easy. You think being in the military is gonna change your life. Realistically, you still got issues as a young adult that you haven't even dealt with yet, years from your childhood, and now you're in the military trying to adapt. When you talking about a freaking skull crushing, brain head crushing type of thing, like trying to figure it out while you're young in the military, like for me, I didn't
And then
think
the other
it was
thing
real,
too
bro.
is, look, the other thing too people forget is you can be broke in the military too. Because if you didn't come
100%.
from financially, or I'm not talking about a financially stable family, but if you didn't come from a background where people were talking about finances and how you should spend finances,
You're
a
not
lot of
gonna know.
people, a lot of people get in the military and living from paycheck to paycheck because you don't have the mental to be like, oh, hey, yo, I might not need this. I'm gonna buy everything I want. Like we talked about one episode, feeding our inner child, buying the things that we want. Some people will have that impulse control, or some people get with the wrong people. They get into the wrong relationships and be like, oh, I gotta buy my girl this, or gotta buy my guy this every time. I gotta have the newest of everything. You don't have to have the newest of everything. You don't.
No, you
Literally.
don't. I think,
And that blows my mind.
and I'll
Because
be honest.
even if you weren't in the military, some of these people will still have these issues, no matter if they get a good job or not. You look at people, and the crazy thing, because you can look at newspaper, look online for this now, because I guess most places don't have newspapers anymore. You can look online for this now. You see people with millions of dollars coming in. Oh yeah, this person is worth this, but then you come to find out they living out of their car. They're living on the street. Is because they're out there spending money that they don't have. Or they're literally giving people money who around them aren't doing anything, aren't working. That's how we talked about this, the lotto episode, how people go from being lotto winners back to being regular people. And with that being said, hey, welcome to Grumpy Gills Podcast, the best upcoming beautiful podcast with these guys. My guy over there, Stump the Grump, with that beautiful anchor and goated hoodie on, that hat to fit that nice bald head while he's outside listening to the beeping. And me over here, Stump the Grump, just looking, trying to keep up with the Joneses, not pocket watching, just making my way downtown, walking fast.
Responses don't require reaction. And that's it. Until they be like,
what's up?
Yeah.
How you doing? Up over there and me. We got over there, but I'm right here. Yourself. You're trying to make yourself better each day. There's somebody out there fighting.
He just like it was. I forget because we were going through. I forgot what we were going to some inspection. He's like, it's gonna make you look tough. When I sure enough, and she's like, she's freaking yoga. Yeah. That is a freaking 100%. All that stuff. That's stuff that's like appearance, small stuff. I heard.
Oh my god. Yeah.
But
Anyways,
to get back into what we was really talking about, like I said, people, the problem is it might seem easy to get to the position that some of us are in, and we make it seem easy, but behind the scenes, you got to understand the struggle. Yes, Stumpy is right. First joining as a child, because that's pretty much what most of us were. We were children. 18, you're still a child. Unless you were put through a hard life and through rough situations where you had to make grown-up decisions, you were still a child regardless, making grown-up decisions and learning how to spend money. Unless you had somebody sit you down and talk to you about what you should do with your money and how you should spend your money, how you should spend that first paycheck, or even because a lot of people I've known coming up, they didn't work before they joined the military. They just went to school and then joined the military. So they don't have that discipline of, I get a paycheck, this is how much I got to spend on gas, this is how much I got to spend on transportation to get to work, to school, X, Y, and Z. And there's nothing wrong with that because mom and dad, they were able to go to school and mom and dad took care of everything and they never struggled. Or their mom and dad didn't want them to work because they wanted them to focus on school because they wanted them to go a different route. That's life. That's not on anybody. But when you get to that age of where you got to make your own decisions and live your own life, you shouldn't want to live the way you came up. You shouldn't want to, oh man, I'm getting it out the trenches. I'm struggling because that's what's cool. This is what life is. This is how we're going to make it. And I'm appreciate it more. There's people who out here struggle who still don't appreciate it. They still don't appreciate it.
I think too is there's got to be a point as a man you want to stand on your own, and stand on your own means you got to start figuring out like how to. Just recently, I met somebody who's an adult, and because of how whatever path he was on to play basketball. Long story short, he is living in a whole household like with a family at 30 something years old. I was like, that's crazy. But then I see you show up with a diamond chain on and all, whether it's real or not, it's like what you show. But you don't know how to like function and live on your own, bro. Like there's a point even in the military where you're like, man, I got to get off when I came in, we stayed on the ship 24/7. There was no barracks. That didn't happen until my last year. My last ship, like we were like, all right, everybody's got to be getting a barracks room to have better life living. But there's got to be, even at that point, it's like, I got to stand on my own and learn how to live by myself and function by myself. Fortunate enough, like that kind of happened to me early, and it was a struggle. I ain't gonna front. My parents pretty much was like, yo, you 18, you got to go. You got to go. Yeah. And so I had to figure it out. So, I had my own, initially I had an apartment with roommates trying to go to college. That didn't work out. And then I moved out, got my own apartment. It was, like I said, it was $500 a month in Lower Scottsdale, Arizona. And it was ghetto, bro. The apartment next to me got rated for fucking selling crack. So I remember coming home from, I remember coming home. Bro, I remember coming home and having to sit outside of my apartment complex for 2.5 hours while they raided this fucking apartment. You know what I'm saying? That was the lifestyle I was in, but that also helped me a little bit in the sense of like being able to live on my own, bro. Literally, I had a 1-bedroom apartment. I had a futon couch in the living room, and I bought a king size mattress on sale at one of the Mattress Depot spots for $50. Yeah. And I had a TV and my Xbox. That's it. That was all I was in my apartment. But I was doing, like, for me, I was like, fuck, I'm doing it, bro. It's not pretty, but I'm by myself. I'm figuring it out. And I think you need to go through that struggle to give you so when you do start making it, it humbles you. So I remember where I came from. I'm getting this money now. I need to start learning how to invest, all these other things. And even now, like with my junior sailors, I be trying to tell them, I was like, don't be out here doing the military starter pack stuff. You can do so much better. You know what it is, like the military starter pack.
The military,
and it's crazy. It's literally crazy how it's based off ethnicity. Like, for example, brothers, they'll go out there, they'll get the Scat Pack or the Charger, GT, whatever. Baby. Yeah, they got to get it. And then the white cast, they got to get the big lifted truck, or they got to get the Mustang, you know what I mean? And then the Asian cats, they're like, they got to go get the Mazda, whatever stick, because they trying to be drifter. It's crazy how it like, the Supra or whatever. It's crazy how it's all ethically broken down. And then you see, and then it's crazy because you see all the dudes doing that, right? And you see the females that be like, I'll go get this Nissan Sentra for right now. And then like they be like I feel like the military females be the smartest right away. Not all of them. Obviously, I've seen some things. I was like, yo, that's crazy. She went out and bought that. But they was like, oh, I get the Nissan Sentra right now. And then they always do the best. But the dudes have that ego. They come in and like, oh man, I'm in the military now. I'm making so much money. I'm like, bro. And I be talking to them. I'm like, yo, like, you are under the age of 25. Now, the game has changed. At least when we joined, it wasn't how it was, right? Insurance was still the same price no matter what. But now you got to be 25 to get your insurance.
It depends on if you had a red car. And only certain people know about the whole red car situation.
Yeah. But what I'm trying to say is I was like, when y'all go out and buy these cars, y'all also don't consider the insurance. That's that's a car payment, right? Like you bought the car and your payment may be only $350, but your insurance might be $500 because you're under the age of 25. That's an $800 car payment. And then when I start breaking it down like that, they're like, you're right. I didn't even think about that. I was like, yeah, but you wanted that freaking car. And then you went out and bought it before you talked to anybody. Because you wanted that car so freaking bad. And it's crazy how, because sometimes when you buy a car, sometimes they have programs where you don't have to make the first payment till a month later. So they don't really see how much they're actually paying on the freaking car until a month later. And so I'm like, bro, you can't go return that car now. You're stuck with it.
Some people, they get 6 months. I got 6 months on both of my new cars.
And it's like, at the end of the day, like, who you got that for? Because that was your dream car when you're a kid. Like, you're not a kid no more. You're an adult. Like, where's your money going? I literally have one of my junior sellers. Literally, his whole first paycheck was pretty much a payment all towards his car. I was like, yo, that's crazy. Like, but you did this. You made this choice. And because you know how, and there's nothing I could do about it because when he bought the car in transit to his first command.
That's how they always do it. That's how.
Yeah. And then they're coming up to you like, oh, Chief, what do I do? Or M1 or whatever. What do I do? I'm like, yeah, there's nothing I can do. You already bought the car in a time where I can't even help you. You bought it back home. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. And
I didn't find out you were homeless until I just passed by the beach one day. Like,
yeah,
hey,
and then are they bringing the contract and you're like, bro, like, your interest rate is like 50%, right? Did you not? You were like, no, but it was a good. I was like, what good deal?
It was a hometown friend. It was a hometown friend that got me this deal.
It literally just be like blowing my mind. And then luckily, I've had a couple of juniors I've talked to. I was like, hey, instead of doing this, go buy a house. And like, I've seen them win, and they've won pretty well because of that. I wasn't the perfect sailor. I did the stupid senior stuff. My first car in the Navy was a freaking Chevy Malibu. I bought it off fucking some dealership in Little Creek Road. I think my interest rate was like 15%. And I was like, but I didn't buy nothing crazy. I was like, I just want a basic car so I can get around. Like, a couple of homies, they go out, they bought the bigger, expensive cars. I was like, damn, bro, at least like at the end of the day, I think in total I was paying like $500 a month for my car and my insurance. So I was like, that wasn't too bad. At the time I was seeing, I was making about $700 or $800 every 2 weeks. So I was like, all right, that ain't eating up all my money. You know what I mean? And then I had a cell phone bill. So I think in total my monthly bills was like $560 or some shit. But like I didn't get nothing crazy. I didn't go get the Charger, the Challenger when it came out. I didn't go. Or at the time, the big thing at that time when I joined was the Magnum. Everybody was trying to get the Magnum, bro. I didn't. I was just like, nah. Just as long as I got 2 subs and a car, I'm cool. That's it. That's it. I just need my 212.
My man said he wanted a sub.
Hey, that's it. That's it. I was copacetic. I had a nice black Chevy Malibu with 212. That's all I needed. I was content.
I didn't really have that problem. My problem was because I was overseas. I was in Japan, the first duty station. My problem with spending money was I talked about this one episode. I used to have a collection of Air Force Ones, like ridiculous.
Oh yeah, and Japan's nasty work, bro. Japan is nasty. The
ridiculous collection of Air Force Ones that were just amazing and immaculate, and used to have all the name brand clothes and stuff like that. And it wasn't realization till one time I was at McDonald's on base, slid my card for a $2 cheeseburger, decline. What do you mean decline? And all these people ain't here? Decline? Hold on, let's try that again. Decline. Oh, we just got paid. And I was negative. And you would think at that time, in that moment, there would be a realization like, hey, you need to get your life together. No, it took 3 more times for something like that to happen, to get embarrassed, to be like, hey, yo, you need to, hey, let's step back. Let's step back. Let's figure out what's going on. Let's do something. Because obviously, this ain't it. There's no way I'm getting paid on the 1st and the 15th. And I am, and my mom's calling the bank, talking about trying to get my fees waived because I don't got no money in checking, no money in savings, burning my credit card. And she trying to get fees waived because, oh, he's in the military, he's overseas, everything costs more and stuff like that. No, I was just being an idiot. I was just being a child because, once again, we didn't really talk about money growing up and the things cost. Don't get me wrong, I got a little bit of an experience of having to pay bills before I joined the military because I went to college and I lived in an apartment with my cousin and I paid rent and bills there, but it was like, oh, okay, it's not that much, whatever.
Yeah.
And to go to Japan and to go back to not paying bills and just living in a barracks room, and the only thing I had to do was make sure, oh, I eat on the ship. I get 3 meals a day I'm already paying for. So the rest of that money, clothes, going out, doing whatever, living my life. And to look back on that and, like I said, trying to help junior sailors out, hey, yo, chill. I'm not saying don't go have fun. I'm not saying don't go buy the expensive things that you always want for yourself. But don't do it every 2 weeks. Don't do it every month. It's not crazy. Because I used to think it was crazy when people was like, oh, I'm saving up to buy this. Why are you saving up to buy it? You got the money in the check already. I got other responsibilities to take care of. Oh, look back on that. They were doing the responsible thing. Oh, I don't let my account go below this much money. Oh, hey, can I borrow some money? And it goes below that amount. I'm sorry, I don't got it. I don't got it. Because people don't really understand. It's not a problem with helping people out, but also too, you can't expect people to be the same way with money that you are. And I learned this from a good friend of mine. He said this, depending on who it is, be it family, friends, or whatever, if you're willing to give money out to let them borrow it because everybody doesn't give it back, whatever, if you're willing to let somebody borrow money, then that's money you had to give. Because you could always say no at the end of the day. You could have it to give or not. It's either a yes or a no. And yes, you can put a timeline on it, but once again, you already know who you letting borrow money. The expectation, if you're going to get it back or not. And we all have a family member or a friend or friends that we give money to that, oh yeah, we just,
Yeah, it
you know,
ain't
you're
coming
not
back.
going to get it back. You're
Yeah.
not going to get it back. That's it.
Yeah.
And that's when you got to realize at some point in time, you're enabling that person's behavior instead of helping them trying to get better. And say, yo, look, we need to figure out where this problem is that you're making. Because don't get me wrong, the storm doesn't last forever.
No.
The
it
weather
doesn't.
doesn't. Eventually,
Yeah.
the sun is going to shine through and you're going to figure it out. Don't get me wrong. We all have bad days. We have bad times. But it's how we come out of that bad day, that bad time. It's how we come out of that storm to make us better. Like I said, that first time that I got embarrassed as a grown-up who gets paid, who pays bills off a $2 sandwich, it took me 3 more times to get embarrassed before I realized that it kicked in that, hey, I need to get rid of this mentality about being, this is okay. This is not okay. Why do I have my mom while I'm overseas calling the bank talking about, hey, can you waive my son's fees because he's in the military, blah, 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 this, that, and the third. Why do I have my sisters who have kids of their own and I have nobody passing me money like, hey, we don't want you to be over there struggling. It don't seem like you're making it. Don't get me wrong. My family, my sisters are a blessing and my mom is a blessing and my dad was too when he was alive. And they still are to this day. They asked me any point in time, they was like, hey, we need to borrow something. Boom, whatever. There you go. You got it.
Hey, man, I don't blame you, bro. I blame the Navy for stationing in Japan at a time when all that shit was hella popular.
Oh.
You couldn't help it. Bro,
Oh,
I get it.
Yeah.
You were out in Japan at a time when a visa was popping, bathing ape, and
Oh,
it was
yeah.
cheap over there.
Bro.
And then you were getting exclusive colorways that only Japan got. So I get it, bro.
Sure.
The sad part is, I know you probably didn't save none of those to freaking
Nah.
resell. I mean,
literally,
like,
I used to, at one point in time, when I was leaving Japan, okay, when I left, I can tell you what happened to all that stuff. When I left Japan, a few times I went home in between before leaving, and it hit me so hard that what I was doing, because like I said, it took me a minute to get back into the mindset of, hey, look, you need to do better and stuff like that. Because it hit me when one of my sisters gave me money, who literally, she had 3 kids, and she was like, hey, I just want to make sure you're okay. And her baby daddy wasn't nothing. He wouldn't take care of nothing. She was like, hey, here, you need this more than I do. And I'm like, you got 3 little kids to take care of. And you're
Yeah.
worried about your older brother who is supposed to be taking care of y'all. And that hit me. And it was like, I got to do better. I got to figure out what's wrong with me, why I have this mentality of, oh, yeah, this, that, and the third. Ever since then, don't get me wrong, I had a few mishaps here and there, but I've always been able to take care of myself and always, hey, my sisters, they ask me for anything. My nieces and nephews, they ask me for anything. I got them. There's a few friends they can ask me here and there. And if I got it, cool. I don't. Look, we all understand we're all grown-ups here. But my sisters and my mom, they at any point, they ask me, boom, they got it. Cool. I don't care. I'll make it happen. I'll make it magically appear. But so what happened with all those wonderful things is they became Christmas gifts. Gifts. Different family members ended up with what they probably didn't know what they had at the time. And I don't really care. It was, hey, look, here's this. This was a time of my life that I enjoyed and I appreciated. And it still is, and I still think about it because eventually, one of these days, I'll probably end up going back there, be in the military or be it on my own dime. But another place where people party like rock stars and they just act like they don't, ain't nobody gonna find out who they are. You know where it is.
Yeah, the good old kingdom. The good old
Yeah.
kingdom. But
So,
I get it, bro. There's a point in time when you're in the military, like you just want to have fun. Because like at the end of the day, bro, I get a lot of questions about the military, especially like at the job I work at. The pool monitor is a little bit younger, so they all know I'm
Yeah.
in the military. They be asking me questions all the time. I'm like, look, if you realistically wanted to, the military can be college or it can be a career. It all depends on how you look at it. And they're like, what do you mean by that? I was like, because you can party your ass off, right? But it will affect them tremendously on how you decide to make it a career. And at the end of the day, my career is my career, and I made the choice I made. And could I be
20-year
better?
college is crazy.
Yeah, 20-year college is crazy, but you do meet those people that they're still in a
Yeah.
20-year college. You know what I mean?
A 20-year
I think
college
for
is
me,
crazy.
like you said, going back, I forgot what episode it was. We were going back, we were talking about if I would have made the decision to make this a career early on in my Navy career, my story would probably be a little bit different than what it is now. But I'm not mad about it. Like I was learning, I was growing up, but I did get to the point where I was like, bro, who am I keeping up with? I thought I was like, oh man, if I buy this Gucci belt and all this other stuff, I'm like, bro,
Yeah.
what? And then trying to expose everybody, and I'm like, all this shit is fake. Y'all spending extra money on shit that China makes anyway. So either you take your ass to Ross, get you some regular clothes, because clothes don't make the fucking man or the woman. The man or the woman makes the fucking
Hey,
clothes, and that
Man, you want to know what's
that-
crazy? You said that. You want to know what's crazy? What makes me mad about this? What makes me mad about a lot of designer clothes? Balenciaga, Gucci, Louis Vuitton. They all have white T-shirts. They all
that
have
just
white
say
T-shirts.
that just say the name. It'll be like Da Vinci, and that bitch be like $75. I'm like, bro, you pay $75 for a blank T-shirt just to
Yeah,
feel like you can,
that's-
so you can
that's
fit in with
crazy.
society.
or
Mhm.
tattered jeans, or all of them have
Bro.
tattered jeans, and you're like, why am I paying $200 for some tattered jeans? I can get some Levi's the same way for $30-$40. That'll last longer.
The shit that be crazy when I hear people spend. I'm like, yo, you spending $2,000-$3,000 on a
Yeah.
purse, but don't even carry $50,000 cash on you. What the fuck is the point? You know what I mean? I'm like, bro, just get you a
Hey.
nice looking purse. That's how some women think.
But then you know who else? You know what's crazy now? Everybody all of a sudden is shopping on Shein and stuff like that. That's crazy. People used to make fun of people for shopping on Shein, but then it just had somebody that was important
I
that
think that no, I,
that was shopping on Shein.
yeah, and I just think it is getting to a point where people start to realize, yo, I'm spending your closet more expensive than your whole life, bro. You live in an apartment, bro. It's crazy when I be seeing certain things. I've people social media exposed to everybody, bro. I literally seen a dude who was living in an apartment, but his clothes were more expensive than the apartment he was living in. I was like, does that even make sense?
Yeah.
When you talk about keeping up
That's
Joe's,
the
I'm like,
crazy
you're living in
part.
an apartment, but you got Louis V this. I was like, bro, you spend all this money for what, bro? But you have nothing foundational that could, like, if shit came south, like, I could sell this and make this money. Because a lot of that shit, yeah, you can kind of resell whatever, but you're still not going to get the same money out of it that you spent to buy it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And really, if you resell, you another sucker to try and spend some extra money to buy something that's name brand, right? Like, to me, I'm at a point because since I've started doing my own clothing brand, all that stuff. I'm like, bro, at the end of the day, bro, if it looks good and it feels good to me and I can buy it cheaper than what I think the price, what I see the price, then I'm good, bro. I'm actually more into wearing my own stuff now. I want to get to a point where most of my wardrobe is mostly anchored and goated. That should be just because I do love the brand and that's where I like to be at. But I also would like to make my clothes decently affordable where you don't have to spend a fuck ton of money, obviously, in a sense. Right now, I'm basically in a sense still playing around with it. But yeah, I'm not worried about keeping up with the Joneses. And the thing, even for a car, bro, like even for me, literally, I drive a Subaru right now, but I bought a Subaru because I drive 170 miles and I needed a gas efficient car for right now. At the end of the day, like the little things that keep me, the only thing that really keeps me having my car, as long as I got 212, as long as I got some beat, I'm good. You know what I mean? I don't need no fucking $100,000 G-Wagon or whatever, bro. Like, and it's crazy, like, statistically proves that most of those millionaires, like, that are billionaires or whatever, they don't drive, a lot of them don't drive expensive ass cars. They have, like, Hondas, The ones that are like, what I'm buying, they depreciate anyway. You buying all
Usually
these
a lot.
foreign vehicles, like they depreciate.
Usually.
They're the worst depreciated vehicles. So what's the point of buying it, bro? You just need to get a vehicle to get your point A to B. But I get it. People want to live in status quo and all this other stuff.
But that's the
and-
same thing about a luxury vehicle. If you don't keep
Yeah,
up
that's what I'm
with the warranty, guess what? As soon as the warranty goes out, the car falls apart.
Facts, and it's crazy. It's crazy how fast it goes. Now, I kind of at a point where I'm sticking to Japanese vehicles, bro, because they last forever. You know what I mean? Subaru, Toyotas, freaking Honda. You can push them 200,000-300,000 miles and they'll go. So,
And watch, somebody's gonna be watching this and they're sitting there, man, these dudes broke. That's why they talking like this.
Nah. It has nothing to do. It has. You can believe it all you want, but it has nothing to do with being broke. It has to being smart financially, bro. For example, like I said, I've changed up in the last episode, I talked about changing up my feed. One of the guys I follow, he's like, yo, if I don't have the money twice over for what I'm looking at and what I want, then I'm not buying it. But people will go out and buy a vehicle that costs more than what they have in their bank account and literally be like satisfied with paying $1,000 a month in a vehicle. And I'm like,
that's the same people who will have the most expensive vehicle, but then live in a shack.
Which is crazy to me. And there is a culture that's like that where they value the vehicle over where they live. No, not Japanese culture. I think it's Korean culture. I believe they kind of like that. But it's crazy to me, bro. I'd rather have a house and have an okay vehicle than have a luxury vehicle and live in an apartment, bro. That shit blows my mind. You drive to the apartment, you're like, bro, these ain't no luxury apartments neither, bro. These are like kind of ran down. They've been over, you know what I mean? So it's all at the end of the day, man, in terms of luxury and keeping up with the Joneses, bro, you don't have to, man. Get to a point where you can be comfortable in life financially and still live a happy, financial free life, man. Don't burden yourself with stuff that's not gonna freaking really, at the end of the day, you can't take it with you anyway when you die. You know what I'm saying? So what does it matter, man? So just get financial.
This is my biggest thing that people should really, truly understand. I get it. Some people want to live in an apartment because they believe that maintenance, the landlord will take care of that. Once again, that depends on where you live and stuff like that. And that depends on where you're at in the world. My biggest thing to me is one day when I grow up, I plan to play Monopoly in real life. I want to get my house, but then I want to get other multiple houses and build from there and keep getting passive income from there. I want to get passive income from stocks. Don't get me wrong. I'm getting not as much as I want in dividends a month. If I can make at least 5 digits a month in dividends, I'll be great. But then that means I got to invest more money. And I got to be in that position to invest that money. And that's what I'm working on, to be in that position where I can put thousands of dollars in investments and then get thousands of dollars in returns back. That thing, that's what I want to do. Like this right here, what we're doing right now, I want this to be one of our main jobs instead of getting out and having to do another job. Don't get me wrong, I might do something part-time when I get out, but at the same time, I want to put more in this where we're making money off of this, being able to spread the things we've learned through life and telling everybody. And once again, it's just our opinion. You can go look a lot of these things up and do a lot of these things. We're not saying stuff just to say stuff. I'm telling you from the bottom of my heart, chasing after what somebody else has or pocket watching somebody else is never going to get you anywhere. It's going to have you ended up broke. Don't get me wrong. If you want to be in the room with people, yes, get mentors. And get mentors that will actually help you and push you to be better. Get mentors that will want to see you on the same level as them. As Stump over there talked about, I've changed some of my pages and put some of my feeds, and I watch some of these people who go talk to a lot of these wealthy and rich people who are in their early 40s and early 50s or late 50s. And they're enjoying life. And the reason why they said they got that is because of their mental fortitude, their consistency to do things, the willingness to say yes to a lot of things, a lot of the time, different experiences. the willingness to say no to going to party all the time. They're not saying they're not having fun. They're saying like, hey, look, if you're doing this, if you have able enough time to sit around and watch 20 episodes of something and you're not making money doing that, then you're doing it wrong. If you're able to go to sleep at night and you're making money, you're doing it right. So instead of sitting around not doing anything or saying, oh, I don't feel like doing nothing, I don't got this, I'm tired. When are you not going to be tired?
Yeah.
When you're not going to feel like it.
I'm tired right now, but we still out here thugging and recording. So we got to do what we got to
Trust
do,
me.
baby.
We in a
You
whole,
know what I mean?
I'm in a whole different time zone. It's
Yeah.
dark outside for me. That's why I'm in
Stop giving yourself excuses and just do it. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah, that's it.
and mind you, like I said, we're on 2 different times. We have to plan this. It's not like we can just be like, all right, you can do. No, we have to plan this. Like our time schedules and our schedules how they work, but we're chasing
And
our
yeah,
dream.
chasing the dream. Chasing the dream. But then also too, look at this. Everything is a lot more ease of access. We have the internet for a reason. Don't get me wrong. It's fun to look at memes. It's fun to look at crazy videos. Hey, in fact, we want to try to make sure y'all go share and subscribe our page, reshare our videos that you see on TikTok, Facebook, and all that.
Yes, sir.
But also too, go do your own research. There are so many things out there that you can research for stocks. There's so many different ways to make money. There's so many different ways to do things to help you out and make your situation better. Because yes, there are people who can't join the military for health reasons or whatever, but there are different avenues to do different things. You don't have to be on the street selling illegal drugs. You don't got to do that. If you want to do the other thing, cool, do the other thing. But you don't got to do any of that. And at the end of the day, all money ain't good money. So always pay attention to how fast somebody makes their money, because the faster somebody makes their money is always the faster they lose it.
This is what I'm going to say with that too. You can sell drugs legally now, in the sense that if you pick the right career. And I think people are too scared to break the norm and work a 9 to 5. Now, what I am starting to see is I did see a guy who broke everything down. He was like, I used to be a street pharmaceutical dealer, and I did the math. And as many times if I got busted, locked up in jail, if I would have worked a 9 to 5, I'd still have more money from working a 9 to 5 than being a freaking street peddler.
Yeah.
And that's good that they're like understanding that shit. I'm like, fast money ain't good money. So
no, not always. Street life, street life has a time limit for a lot of people.
Facts. And there's an expiration date on everything. You can have a long expiration date or you can have a short one, depending on how you look at it. But at the end of the day, man, there ain't no sense. The only thing you should keep up with is your future self. And if you're telling yourself you want to do better, then you got to understand that. The more you try and chase after other people, the less you build in yourself. So
the more you're worried about what somebody else got in their pockets, guess what?
Yeah.
The less you're going to have in your pockets.
Like you were saying, find you a mentor. You know what I mean? You don't have to freaking sometimes you're not going to figure everything out on your own all the time, right? You do need some mentors, some older mentors in life that's been through it, and find one, man. Don't be scared to put yourself out there and ask, like, hey, man, I'm struggling. I need your help. And also to that, do the deep work to help fix your financial issues, because it's not just about the money part. It's also spiritual. Money is tied spiritually too. So understand you got to do the deep work. So get you some therapy and all these other things and figure it out. But once, like you said, once it all clicks, you got to start figuring out and fixing the bad habits and all this stuff. You'll start to feel mentally more mental clarity and better about your situation, and know you're building a better financial future for yourself, and possibly maybe once you have a family and kids and all that other stuff. But yeah, other than that, man, that's my closing notes. You got anything?
Yeah. Hey, don't pocket watch. Don't chase after what everybody else got, because guess what? Comparison is always the thief of joy.
100%.
Hey, instead of playing, go chase your dream, but also to try to live in your dream and live in your peace and understand what's for you. Monetize your abilities. Monetize your things that you can do. Right? Everybody's not going to make it out the hood on a football, basketball, or athletic scholarship, whatever. But everybody has an innate talent to do something, and use that innate talent to be great. And with that being said, hey, like Stump always say, love, peace, chicken grease. We out.
Love, peace, chicken grease. We out.